Hello and welcome to my channel Rainier Books. It is here that I discuss books, awards and sometimes even other stuff because I cannot ignore the world outside the pages. Today I will deliver another single review. I have read The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, a novel which is nominated for the Edgar Award 2025 as Best Novel. It was the second book of Liz Moore that I have read after her novel Long Bright River that was published in 2020. Long Bright River was a novel about two sisters, one a police detective and the other one a drug-addicted homeless person who roamed the streets of Philadelphia. Even Moore's latest novel, The God of the Woods, has family relations as a core topic. However, there's a huge change in the setting. While Long Bright River was placed in a city with 1.5 million people, The God of the Woods takes us to New York State and the Adirondacks. I actually had to look up how to pronounce Adirondack. That wasn't so easy for me, but there are videos on YouTube that help us, for all of us who did not know that before. The Adirondacks are 3.5 hours or 230 miles straight north of New York City, straight from Manhattan, but they are a completely different world. The Adirondacks are a vast and rugged mountain region in northern New York State, covering upstate New York, you could say, covering about 6 million acres, larger than Yellowstone, Yosemite, Grand Canyon, Glacier, and Great Smoky Mountains National Parks together. More than 3,000 lakes and ponds, including the famous Lake Placid and Saranac Lake, and over 30,000 miles of rivers and streams make it a paradise for kayaking, canoeing, and fishing. The forests feel dense and untamed with towering trees, thick undergrowth, and a sense of deep solitude. Many areas remain old-growth forests untouched by logging. Imagine if somebody gets missing here. In The God of the Woods, 2 kids get lost here with more than 14 years in between. Both belong to the same family. What a tragedy. The Van Laars are rich bankers and have bought a piece of land here and created a mansion they call Self-Reliance. It is named after Ralph Waldo Emerson's famous essay from 1841 in which he emphasized individualism, intuition, and personal independence. We will come back to that. For many years, the Van Laars have arranged summer camps which go by the name Camp Emerson for teenagers from mostly well-suited families. Kids stay for 2 months, the whole summer holidays, in the Adirondacks and learn to live together and also master the immense wilderness. The camps are held by T.J. Hewitt, a tomboy woman who is taking care of her father Vic, who was the first camp director. The story starts for us in August 1975. Camp will soon be ending, and one morning 13-year-old Barbara Van Laar, barely a teenager, daughter of the family owning the whole area, is missing from the camp. This event echoes the earlier disappearance of her older brother Peter, called Bear, that she has never met, who vanished 14 years prior. Liz Moore tells the story of the God of the Woods through a multi-perspective layered narrative that unfolds across different timelines, similar to her approach that she already used in Long Bright River. We read from the perspective of Alice, of Barbara Van Laar's mother, who suffers from mental illness since her son has disappeared 14 years earlier, and whose marriage with Peter Van Laar, who's quite a bit older, Peter Van Laar III, actually is anything but happy. We meet Louise Donadieu and her family. Louise is a counselor and responsible for the cabin named Balsam, where Barbara stayed and then vanished from. She is the primary provider for her mother and younger brother, making her camp counselor position crucial. She's also in a lower position, of course, and the position is crucial for her family's livelihood. On the night of Barbara's disappearance, Louise had left the cabin, entrusting the junior counselor with supervision. Tracy Jewell is a camper assigned to the Balsam cabin, an outsider who's friendly treated by Barbara. When Barbara goes missing, Tracy becomes a central figure in the ensuing investigation. Her insights into Barbara's behavior and also their shared experiences in the weeks earlier provide crucial information to the authorities and to camp staff. And then comes Judita Judy Luptag. She is a 26-year-old investigator born in Schenectady, New Jersey. Judita comes from a traditional, close-knit family whose parents want her to keep living at home. But Judita looks for independence. She wants to live on her own. She's 26, come on. Judy becomes something like the detective hero of this novel, which is a mystery, but one with high literary qualities that primarily explores family dysfunction, generational trauma, and class divisions by using the crime genre as a vehicle or tool. From the start, the novel becomes very quickly immersive, and Liz Moore takes his readers into the Adirondacks, into the camp, the mansions, self-reliance, and the families whose stories and whose connections are intertwined. From the very start of the novel, I thought that this book has amazing cinematographic qualities, and I really hope that this won't be just another TV show on HBO or Netflix, but a 2-hour movie at the movie. What can be disturbing for some readers is that we move from person to person and back and forth in time, and when chapters are named Louise, for example, and then it says 1950s, 1961, winter 1973, June 1975, July 1975, August 1975, and then happens in almost every chapter, you might get confused when the narrative only takes up August 1975 in just a chapter. From a certain point in the novel, I just ignored the dates given, which was absolutely fine. Let me get back to the name of the mansion, Self-Reliance, and Camp Emerson, which of course is highly intentional, must be. My American literature professor, Arlen G. Hansen, I talked a lot about Mr. Hansen here, told us, if you want to understand America, you have to understand Emerson. The God of the Woods is nothing less than a parable about the United States of America. The novel's themes are privilege, disappearance of persons, and the contrast between idealism and reality. Emerson advocated for self-reliance, individualism, and a deep connection with nature, values that are core for the American self-image. The setting of God of the Woods in the majestic Adirondacks with self-reliance and Camp Emerson evoke these ideals, but reality is completely different, as so often. The building self-reliance shows wealth and stability and self-made success of the Van Laar family with all its Peters, Peter the First, the Second, the Third, the Fourth, but tragedy, unhappiness, and mental illness and the absence of love is just around the corner. In Camp Emerson, generations of school kids are supposed to experience nature, and they also have survival training following Emerson and his contemporary or pupil Henry David Thoreau's ideals, but the relationships between the juveniles are full of secrets and fears. The ideal of American self-realization, we learn, is not accessible for everyone, not in the 1970s and not today. When Bear and Barbara disappear, the American dream disappears, and there seems to be no answer to where they have gone and why they have disappeared. On the surface, The God of the Woods is an amazing thriller with a great setting, a great cast of characters, and mysteries with false leads and difficult answers. But as you can see, this is much, much more. Liz Moore is not only a great thriller author, and I'm the last person to diminish crime as a genre. She is one of the great voices in American literature today. Brilliant book. I just loved it, and I hope that it wins the Edgar. I see you soon again in another video. Bye-bye.